Hey guys, well this week we talk about the feelings about boss lady going to Halifax, and we also go and help a friend of ours with issues on his boat. And finally, one of the subjects that we already kind of covered was Parks Canada and the issue with having a chicken on board of our boat and not being able to get off the boat. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and please don't forget to click that like button and maybe subscribe to see what else we do with our time. So thanks guys, and we're getting right to it. So guys, well, this is what happens when the spring comes. We get people calling us up and calling me up and asking for my help. So now we're on our way to go help a really, really good friend of ours, long-time sailor, and I guess all around a really good guy, Mr. David. So Mr. David went through quite a few boats in the last years. Maybe I could show a couple on the corner here. Yeah. So he went from powerboat to sailboat, back to powerboat. But I can honestly say it's not his fault. It was all for the well-being of his little puppy, Diesel. And,
yeah, little puppy, eh?
Okay, I guess.
He's a big boy.
And so, you know, again, he tried the sailing, and he loves sailing, but his puppy can't handle the quarters, and with the bad hips, not so good for him. So
He needs room.
yeah, and he needs room because he's not such a small puppy. So on our way there, and let's see what happens when we get there. Cool. Well, like we just stated, the heater on my buddy's boat, which is, this is not my buddy's, my father-in-law.
Watch his tummy, you dum-dum.
And you really don't want to touch his belly right now because he just came out of the hospital a few weeks ago, major surgery. So.
It's been a month.
Sorry, Dad.
Swift kick in the bum.
Won't do that mistake again. Now, this heater, yes, it's just I need a few hands and to be able to do this. There you go. Now, you take that off, and it was. But if you know, you have to hold it from the bottom. That's the kicker. Okay.
Doesn't weigh more than 5 pounds, does it?
Well, yeah, sorry. So you do your arms fine. So these heaters are actually really easy to take apart and to fix, and not a lot of people try it. Well, I have quite a few spare parts from other heaters that do break down, and these inside parts are not that easy to get. Now, again, this is just a plastic casing where the hot air travels through here and goes all around this heat sink. And this heat sink, because of this fan, the air in the cabin gets sucked in through here, goes around the heat and comes out, and this would be the ducking that you have for the inside of the cabin. Now, on the inside of this is where the combustion chamber is, and I'm just going to turn it a bit around here, and you'll see when I take it out that the combustion chamber is actually at the inside of this. Take this out at the inside of this. Now this is where you need to hold that plastic part, and I need to juggle with this.
Watch me, I can juggle.
We can jiggle too.
Juggle and jiggle and there we go. And now that's the shell that has all the heat going through it for the cabin, and this is the shell that has a combustion chamber. Now, we have actually 3 things, well, 4 elements for the electronics to work. Yes, thank you very much, help. Great help. We have the heat sensor, or the overheat sensor, I should say, but also it tells the computer, which is right here, what the heat is in the combustion chamber inside. The second thing we have is the glow plug. Now the glow plug ignites the diesel as it gets swirled around, because you have this fan that's on for the cabin, but you also have at the other end of this a fan in here that activates the air inside the combustion chamber. So you have your intake from fresh air. You have your exhaust that you have to exhaust outside the boat or RV or car, whatever you want. So again, you have your injector, which is just a line coming in, because that part is regulated by the fuel pump that's in line from your fuel tank to this unit. Now, on the other side here, on the electronic side, you have the heat sensor, and on this side, excuse me, you have the glow plug that, you have the glow plug and you have the fan. And this is the brains of it. Now on this brain, believe it or not, there's a, right here inside, there's a sensor that senses, and this is the red one right here, if I'm not mistaken, where if the fan, if this unit is not beside the fan, or if it does not sense that the fan is blowing hot air, or air period, it will give you an error message. Just like if any of the components break or don't work as efficiently as they should.
Lift.
It doesn't, oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, so if it doesn't work as it's supposed to, overheats, because either this unit is just crammed with, if you have animals, it could be crammed with air, it could be crammed with, if you're not exhausting properly, or...
That could get full of creosote too, can it?
Yes, it can. If there's any leak, especially from this gasket, it can get full of creosote. Same thing for this gasket right here. If it's not, sorry, it's for the gasket for the glow plug, and I'll show you where the glow plug is there. So to be able to have access to that, either you use a special tool that I made myself one, or you could remove the fan, and then it's a lot easier with just a 12mm wrench. Now, this is nothing. Most parts can be found on Amazon for between $45, well, $15 to $45. So if you want to find the glow plug, we're talking about on average $20 to $25. If you want to find the heat sensor, which is again really easily accessible, and you just need to take this clamp off, you're looking at $9. If you're looking for the fan assembly, you're looking for about $45, and along with the motherboard, which is about $50 all in all, but very rarely will you ever change this. Now, these things after a while do need to get cleaned.
Yes.
And you take them apart, and you'll see they'll be full of soot and creosote, and it's packed in, caked in.
Nasty.
Yes, and it's almost like a brick, and it's rock hard in there, and you do need to scratch it off. Use a flat screwdriver, and maybe a scraper. But the fins that you see inside, there's also the same fins inside to be able to dissipate the heat, to get more surface so the heat transfers for the heat inside the cabin. So again, there's nothing wrong. Right now, this one, what's wrong with it is the glow plug. So what we did is we went ahead and ordered another brand new glow plug, and I have a spare glow plug that I installed in this unit, so this unit becomes a spare one again. So I wanted to explain this to you, and that was mostly what was wrong and what was the big thing that we needed to go help our friend Dave, because, well, when you don't have this and it's -1 degree outside, your boat is really cold really fast. Thanks, guys, and happy rest of the video. So, this week was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Between the torrential downpours, the
work.
Work. The ice pretty much disappeared.
Yes.
This is the times that we're kind of idle, where it's
for
not
a little bit before we start working on the boat.
It's not nice enough to work outside of the boat.
No.
But it's not cold enough to do anything really. No.
So it's kind of that weird
the in between.
Twiddle your thumbs. What do we do? I mean, there's always something to do, but
yeah. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be fixing out the canvas.
Yeah, we'll be hauling out to redo bottom paint and top deck paint.
Fix up the sides.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta get my Jolly Roger on the mast too.
Yes.
My backstay.
So all in all, what's your feelings about doing this trip to Halifax?
I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one.
Why we?
Isn't that sad? Everybody think of the human race.
Now, I'm sure by now you know, this is our Landfall 38 named Capella Sea. Now again, this is our neighbor's boat. He lived with us all winter in the water on his boat, and it's a Bayfield 25. And I must say, this is probably the smallest boat that I've heard of as a liveaboard in Canada. Now, you know, you have all kinds of people in the world, but to live on a boat in Canada, you know, sometimes you want room and such, but Bayfield 25 is not usually synonym to this. Now, maybe we could go see inside and see what it looks like. Now, if anybody ever heard of a pocket blue water boat, it would be a Bayfield 25. You ram all that you need to go blue water sailing in something that's 25 foot long, full keel, as an inboard motor, and can sail through hurricanes. This is the boat. Now, there's many layouts inside. This is one of my favorites that Tyler has. It has 2 settee benches on each side, and the table comes down and opens up so everybody can sit at a table. Now, this kind of reminds me of our Tycon 30, where we could sit an enormous amount of people around the table that folded down from the bathroom wall. Now, it does have a full head and sink in the head also. It does not have a shower per se, but you can definitely convert the boat to have a shower inside and or outside. The little Yanmar 8-horse that's on it can bring it to about 5.5, 6 knots with no current either way. So depending on current, you know, you'll obviously be affected. But for the amount of fuel that this thing takes, you can probably cross an ocean on that 25-gallon tank that it has. Now, the sails on it are pretty good. It does have a furler in the front, and it is a deck step mast, which does save you a little bit of space inside. You know, again, there's nothing wrong with deck steps, and this boat is pretty much built like a brick crap house, so it's definitely nice to see, and I hope that Tyler's got many more years of enjoyment out of this boat, especially at the price that he paid. I'm not going to mention that, but let's just say he got a good deal. Now, this video is following one of our previous videos regarding our chicken Hey. Now, I called Parks Canada. I've also emailed Ron Holman, which is the presiding senior officer for Canada under the Parks Canada minister. Also, I've tried to get in contact with Parks Canada and 1,000 Islands, which there is no answer, and it's not really surprising. But I've gotten in contact with the Parks Canada Banff office and the wardens office in Banff. Now, they control, from what I gather, everything in central or even maybe west Canada, so from Banff, Jasper, Lake Louise, and such. And this was the conversation I had. Now, I cut it down a bit. If anybody wants the full interview with the warden, it's going to be online. But for now, you can listen to this one. I was in the Thousand Islands Provincial Park, National Park, and they gave me a ticket for having a chicken on their land.
Sorry, what park was that?
The Thousand Island Provincial Park, National Park. Sorry, yes.
National Park. Okay.
Yes. And they gave me a $125 ticket because I had poultry on their land. So I was kind of getting scared that I might not be able to stay in Banff and see what I could do about it.
So essentially, for lack of better terms, I would treat, if I saw you and your chicken, I would treat you with your chicken as a domestic animal. So in a national park across the country, domestic animals need to be under physical control at all times while you're in the national park.
And I totally agree.
So
My chicken had a 6-foot leash with a harness.
She's on, as long as you have her under physical control, as defined within our domestic animal regulations. So,
Yes.
So that technically is, so the leash, I'm just trying to find the definition here.
Yeah, I
So
think it's a
physical
3 meter leash, and it has to be under control at all times, or something like that nature.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, and if you're taking her out for a walk and you're at your campsite, as long as that's visible for us to see and also other Parks Canada staff to see.
Oh, it's a
that
bright
we are
pink
only-
leash. You can't miss it.
Sorry?
It's a bright pink leash. You can't miss it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, because obviously, we, in the national parks, like, there's lots of critters around, there's coyotes.
Very much. Now, can I have your name and maybe
You sure?
a badge number, so just in case I could mention your name if I do have a run-in with anybody?
Sure, yep. So my name is Anika Hodgson.
Hodgson?
Yeah, Hodgson, Hodgson.
Okay.
And I guess you can just say I'm a park warden. I'm the only female park warden here in Banff National Park, so it won't be hard to...
That shouldn't be too hard. Now, this story's not over yet. I have yet to have a return email from the Minister for Parks Canada or the senior officer. Also, I've emailed a few of the superintendents or the people that are responsible for a few parks that we will be going through and at on our way to Halifax this year, and on our way back also. So I will keep you informed on what's the outcome and what people have to do if they have anything such as a miniature pig, chicken, or any kind of poultry, birds on their boats, maybe even a ferret, or any kind of unusual animals that Parks Canada doesn't specifically list. Thanks, guys, and here's the rest of the episode. If you guys want to help us without doing much at all, please click like and subscribe, and possibly that little bell to get notifications next time we put out a video. Thanks, guys.